Keywords: teaching system, Moodle framework, system design, cloud computing. Abstract: in the design of a traditional analog teaching system, the design is usually based on the Moodle framework, which requires a lot of calculations, which makes the host computer occupancy rate of the teaching system higher. Therefore, this research designed a new English listening simulation teaching system based on cloud computing. In the hardware, the PC host is removed and the RS-484 converter is added to perform serial port control conversion. In the software program, first use the Cloud Computer Service framework to construct the system framework and draw up the connection process of the system server. Set up ordinary nodes and supernodes with different functions on the system nodes, and then establish the user's collaborative filtering operation and the collaborative filtering operation of the teaching item, and thus complete the design of the teaching system. In order to verify the effectiveness of the above-mentioned teaching system, a simulation test experiment is designed. The English listening course resources of a school are imported into the system, and the performance of the teaching system is tested. The test results show that the host occupancy rate of the teaching system is low, which meets the original intention of the design. Introduction. The development and application of Internet are changing the way people work, live, learn, and interact with each other. In the field of education, the application of the Internet has greatly expanded the spatial and temporal boundaries of education, changed the relationship between teaching and learning in English teaching, and also greatly improved people's interest, efficiency, and initiative in learning. Based on this, relevant scholars use information technology to design a variety of information teaching systems such as Moodle, Big Data, Zigbee, and other technologies into the education system, and the combination of group, tool, and information technology, the integration of teaching resources and courses so as to build a teaching system. However, the computing process of the current teaching system is all realized in the host server. When there are too many users, the pressure of the host server will be too large, resulting in a high occupancy rate of the host. The cloud computing service technology can complete part of the operation in the cloud computing layer, and the use of this technology can reduce the computing load of the host, which has research value. Therefore, this study designed an English listening simulation teaching system based on cloud computing to reduce the host occupancy rate of the system. System hardware design. The teaching system design in this paper takes the PC as the main control computer, the single-chip microcomputer of each subsystem as the slave machine. The serial ports of the master and slave computers are connected with each other through the bus, and the RS-485 communication standard is adopted. PC communicates with MCU and transmits data by turn. Among them, RS-485 communication standard has the characteristics of simple interface, easy control, and flexible use. RS-485 is a half-duplex mode with high sensitivity, and the transmission distance can reach 100-2,000 meters. With multi-point interconnection, it can save signal lines and facilitate long-distance transmission. RS-485 transceiver adopts balanced transmission and differential reception, which can effectively suppress common mode interference. The serial port of IBM PC is RS-232 standard, and the serial port of AT89C52 is TTL level. Therefore, with simple circuit, RS-232, RS-485 conversion, and TTL RS-485 conversion can be realized. The RS-232 RS-485 converter is shown in Figure 1. Figure 1. Structure diagram of RS-232 RS-485 converter. In Figure 1, MAX487 is the RS-485 interface chip of Maxim Company. With single plus 5-volt power supply, it can complete the conversion from TTL to RS-232. RS-232 adopts negative logic, and the output level is positive, negative 12 volts. Therefore, no matter the output or input of PC serial port, the level conversion should be carried out. MAX1488 and MXA1489 to complete the corresponding conversion function. The RTS signal line of PC serial port is used to control the receiving and sending state of MAX487. Cloud Computing Service Architecture Establishment. Cloud computing refers to the supercomputing mode based on the Internet, that is, the massive information and processor resources stored on personal computers, mobile phones, and other devices are gathered together to work together. In order to improve the information processing ability and equipment collaboration ability of the teaching system, this system uses the cloud computing as the service architecture of the system. The architecture design can be divided into 3 levels as shown in Figure 2. In the operation layer, there are media management, content management, business operation system. And the service layer, the CDN server, EPG server. And there is a user layer. User 1, user 2, user 3, etc. In the cloud computing service framework of this article, it is divided into 3 levels. The top level is the content management layer, which is the operation layer, responsible for content arrangement and related calculations. The second layer is the service layer, responsible for content storage, transmission, user authentication, etc. And the last layer is the user layer, which implements services through the docking with the service layer. In the cloud computer architecture, CDN is used for deployment. Data resources and collaborative computing are concentrated at the core of the cloud platform. The terminal does not retain data, and media materials are played in the streaming manner, and interactive evaluation is accepted. The CDN structure is shown in Figure 3. CDN Network is usually composed of media resource description library, media storage source, and distribution control center. Content management for CDN, routing, and organization. All program resources are stored in the central media center, and copies of popular currently available program resources are stored in each ad caching radio server. In the pre-distribution and distribution of the backbone network, the Aurora CDN is used, and the P2P method is used to evenly store the load among the regional node groups. The CDN structure provides the program source copy and the migration strategy for the teaching system, which involves pre-distribution of content. Pre-distribution with bandwidth control, resumable transmission capability, parable distribution function, instant remote access, GFS plus ISCSI or third-party solutions, content access, and migration strategies such as real-time distribution, downstream limiting direct transmission, regional P2P distribution, controlling P2P interference to the backbone network, etc. Also involve the space scheduling management of edge caches and program caching strategies. System server connection process. The implementation of the server is mainly composed of core services and processing modules. The core service is the interface between the user terminal and the processing module. The client sends or receives data information through RTP and RTSP, and the processing module is responsible for processing requests and sending packets to the client. The implementation process of the streaming media server is described as follows. The main thread is responsible for checking the running status of the server and can control input and output. The idle task thread manages the periodic task queue, including timeout tasks and socket tasks, and sends the task queue to the processing module idle task module for processing. The event thread is responsible for receiving RTSP requests and RTP data packets and transmit them to the corresponding task thread. There are usually multiple task processes in task thread. ITSP request and ITP packet are received from event thread and placed in task queue. The task queue is sent to the process of processing module to request task module for processing. The send packet task module of the processing module sends a process request packet to the client. The task object mainly uses two methods. Signal is responsible for sending an event to the task object, and can send short messages to the process or the group of processes. If the same event is sent multiple times, only one will be put into the suspended queue of the receiving process. YUAN is responsible for specifying the processing time for the task object, and it will be called when there is an event to be processed. It can call the getEvents function to receive the current and the previous events that have been signaled, and make the event automatically exit the queue. Conclusion. The traditional simulation teaching system has a higher host occupancy rate. To solve this problem, this study designed a new English listening simulation teaching system based on cloud computing. In the system hardware, remove the PC host, add RS-484 converter to carry out the serial port control conversion. In the hardware program, ordinary nodes and super nodes with different functions are set up on the system node respectively, and then through collaborative filtering operation, the computational amount of the host is reduced, and the pressure of the host is reduced. However, the compatibility of the system is low, and it is not suitable for more forms of teaching mode. The system compatibility needs to be further improved in the future. Thank you.